Hey guys, what is happening? Nihat here with Film Comics Explained, and we are back for the conclusion of 30 Days of Night. We return to Stella and Eben, who have just noticed the computers are down. Eben tells Stella that Gus had probably fallen asleep, as he's done in the past, and suggests that they give it a couple of minutes. You can wait all you want. All you have left is time. Mr. and Mrs. Sheriff. There's nothing you can do to stop what's coming. Board the windows. Sandbag the doors. You'll try it all. But one by one, they'll pick you off and strip the meat from your bones. Eben and Stella look in horror and disbelief as the man bends the bars with his bare hands. You are so fucked. Eben then shoots him before he can get any closer. Eben asks if he is dead, and Stella empties a whole clip into him before saying, he's dead now. Eben tells her that he needs a minute to process things, but Stella insists that they don't have any time, as something is going down. They both jump in the car and head over to Gus. They arrive to find a scene of horror. After throwing up, Stella asks him what they're gonna do, and Eben tells her that they need to get back to town and round everybody up. They can hear screams in the distance, causing Eben to look through his binoculars. At first he thinks it's the locals, but soon changes his mind. Eben spots the Nosferatu moving towards them and tells Stella to get back in the car. The invasion came swiftly. The tough and stubborn tried to fight, but it was hopeless. The sun went down a long time ago and will not return for a long time more. An endless supply of blood and meat. This is how it is meant to be. Humans like bottles, waiting for their caps to be popped. Hiding in an old industrial furnace, Stella and Eben look on at the horror, while some of the survivors hide in the dark. Stella is confused at how she was able to kill the freak in the cell, but the ones they see in front of them are not being slowed down by gunfire. She suggests that it could have been the fact that she shot him in the head. We head back to Mama and her son Taylor. She is preparing her son for an arduous journey. There are a few steaks, some holy water, and anti-vampire tools. She hands him a camera and tells him that it is the most important thing he is taking with him, as they need footage of the Nosferatu if they are to convince people that they exist. She then hands him a gun and begins to cry as she explains, although it was useless against them, he may have to use it on himself, as the alternative was much worse. She hugs him before he departs for Alaska. What we then see is the sheriff making a run for food and supplies amidst the horror and bloodshed. We can see that he's using a repetitive strategy: move, stop, look, listen, repeat. They only had a handful of options available to them: wait for them to finish and leave, look for a way to kill them, or try and escape. One of the vampires sneaks up on him and tells him that he knew they were survivors, before explaining that the cold wreaks havoc on their sense of smell. He asks for the location of the other survivors, and Eben shoots him in the head with his shotgun, but it has no effect. Eben distracts him with another shot to the face, before making a break for it. He sneaks back into the bunker and has trouble regaining his breath at first. He then explains his encounter to the group. He tells them that they have no hope of fighting them, and must instead wait for the sun. Stella insists that they will starve before it happens, and they are soon alerted to the sound of clapping in the distance. We head outside to find that Vincent has arrived. Marlowe thanks him for gracing them with his presence before telling him to look at what they have discovered. Vincent looks on as Marlowe explains they no longer need to hide in the dark and can feed for weeks here, searching and hunting the remaining people down. He also assures him that none of them have turned, with strict orders to decapitate them before this occurs. Marlowe tells Vincent that he has found them a paradise, but Vincent instead tells him that he is stunned by his stupidity, before striking him with a ferocious blow. He then looks on at the others before asking them how long it's taken them to become a myth. How many centuries has it taken us to mesh with the living world? To make the humans no longer believe we exist? Hundreds, thousands of years. Now, in a single greedy, stupid act, you have given them reason to suspect. Suspicion and fear are the seed of our extinction. It killed my brothers and my fathers, and if this gets out, it will destroy us again. Marlowe gets up after the humiliation and begins to run at Vincent. He jumps at him, but Vincent tears him in half with little effort. He then orders the group to hunt the survivors down and place them in their homes before saying, "Split the pipeline, flood the streets with oil, and set the entire town ablaze. By this time tomorrow, I want this town off the map." We can see the whole town is now engulfed in flames. One of the survivors explains that he was scratched by one of them when he was trying to get away. He tells Stella that he can feel it killing him inside. Another asks why nobody has come to help them, and Stella tells him that they probably have, but were taken out by the Nosferatu before they could reach the town. The man then begins to change as he succumbs to the vampiric infection. We see him jump up on the walls in an attempt to escape, but is shot quickly by Eben. Eben then approaches the man before grabbing a syringe and pulling some of his blood. Stella asks him what he's planning on doing with that, and Eben tells her that he doesn't know. I'm not sure yet. They'll be tearing through here soon. We see Taylor arriving at Barrow in a helicopter that he had rented. He's both surprised and in awe at the sight below him, as Barrow continues to burn. He explains that he is recording the footage of both the fires and the Nosferatu. Vincent spots him from below and says, I see you up there. I can smell your fear. We then see him climbing the walls with great speed before leaping onto the helicopter. Eben and Stella sneak out, alerted by the sound of the chopper, hoping that it's some sort of rescue, only to see that the pilot is being torn apart by Vincent. Vincent jumps back down as the helicopter crashes into a building. He begins telling them to kill every last person left. Stella tries to get Eben to head back and get the others to scatter. Eben insists that none of them will stand a chance before saying, I think I know how to beat them. I'm not going to let you die. Eben then tells Stella that he loves her before putting the needle to his arm. It feels like a fire spreading mercilessly through my veins. He screams before collapsing. Stella holds him up and begs him to say something, to which he replies, I can smell your blood. The Nosferatu have found some youth who are hiding and begin to torment them. We hear a voice in the distance yell, get away from those kids. Eben then appears and we see he is in the middle of a transformation. You want someone to bite? Bite me. The Nosferatu all begin to laugh at him, but Vincent asks them to give the new blood some space. Eben then leaps at him with tremendous speed, but we see he's caught by the throat. Do you really believe you stand a chance? Hundreds of years of experience against a pathetic moment of desperation. Please. Vincent then flings him against the wall with great force. Eben then begins to get the upper hand and explains that he now understands they are nothing but parasites, as he can feel their cursed endless hunger. The other Nosferatu stop laughing as Eben continues to lay into Vincent with his newfound power. Eben then rips Vincent in half. The survivors exit their sanctuary and stand behind Eben as he says, Get out of my town, causing the Nosferatu to flee. The survivors look on at the destruction around them. Eben asks if he should go after them, but Stella tells him they won't be coming back for them as the sun will be up soon. The two lovers sit at the same spot they had done at the start of the story to see the sun go down. Eben tells Stella that it's getting harder to fight. I could live forever, sure, but I don't want to breathe another second if I can't remember what it feels like to love you. They embrace as the sun begins to come out. All that remains of him is dust as Stella looks on at the sunrise. Well, that's all folks. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to purchase a copy of the full story, I've left links in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you guys thought of this graphic novel. Personally, it's one of my favourites. As always, it's been a pleasure. Nihat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.